Hey friend, John McLennan here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to play every single song from AC/DC's Back in Black record on guitar. Now this is an amazing album that's sold over 50 million copies worldwide, and it's jam-packed with some great rock guitar playing. So I hope you get a ton of value out of this video, and we're gonna go in chronological order. So we'll start off with the first track and then go through the rest of the album. All right, well, without further ado, let's get into the first song. Let's break down how to play Hell's Bells as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now this tune kicks off, and the whole album kicks off with those opening bells, and then we come in with this main riff that's a 4-bar figure. Here's what it sounds like. 3 and 4 and... All right, so this is based out of an A chord here. We're gonna start with the open A string. Then we're gonna grab the 9th fret on the 3rd string. Then go back to open A, then play 7. Now what I do is I make this sort of power chord shape here, which is open, 7, and 9, starting there on the 5th string. And then I just adjust it, like I'll take that note off and bring it down to 7. Now you could use your ring finger. I'm using my pinky, that's what's comfortable for me, but I play power chords with my pinky. So either way is fine, ring finger or pinky. We're gonna start. Then we'll play 7 on the 4th string, open A. Then we'll jump down 2 frets to 5. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's 5 on the 3rd string. Then we'll come back to 5 on the 4th string, open A. So then bring it back up and play 7, 7, then open A twice. So all together. That rings out, we play the riff again, but with a slight variation. So counting it out, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... With the strum hand, I like using all down strokes or down picks. It just gets a real cool sound, a real strong sound for rock. Then we do the same thing again, but with a little variation. Check it out. So I started the same way, but we have this 4 and, this 4 and coming out of the 2nd bar. Then we jump up, play everything the same, but when we get up to this 7 on the 3rd string, we jump down and play power chords. Now this is the 3rd fret of the 5th string and then the 5th fret on the 4th string. I'm playing this, again, I mentioned that I play power chords with my pinky. Here you want to for sure use your pinky because you got to drop this down. So we're going to play 3 and 5 to 2 and 5. It's like a C5 power chord to a G over B shape. It's a very common rock guitar thing. Like you hear this all the time. That kind of chord progression. So when I do that, I use my pinky, and that makes the stretch here easier. Then you finish with the open A string. So the second half. Then that again ties over, so when it repeats, you don't re-attack that open A string. Here's what it sounds like all together. 3 and 4 and... then right there, repeat. Again. All right, so that goes over and over while those bells are ringing. Now, the last time we get out of it, we have a variation that goes like this. So we brought in some new chords here. We start the same way. From here, instead of going down to 5, what we do is we go to a G chord. And this is my standard go-to AC/DC style, G chord. I'm gonna play the 3rd fret of the low E, mute the 5th string, then open D, open G, and then the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Then go to D, and then like walk down from a C. So this is like a C chord. It's a lot like the G. I just brought that finger down 1 string. Play the 2nd fret, open A. So coming out of the riff. From there, we go up to now this begins basically the verse riff. We play it 2 times before the vocals come in. We're gonna play the 5th string open, because remember we're going, so that's ringing out, that 5th string open. Then we're gonna go up to 7 and 9, and we'll go, there's that little power chord shape. We're gonna drop it back, and then put the pinky back, or your ring finger, whichever you're using. Here I recommend the pinky. Then we drop down 2 frets, and go. So that's the same thing, but on the last one, we're gonna put 2 fingers down and play 7 and 7. So, then play open A, then these power chords. That's the C5 to the G over B. So all together, then the verse comes in and we play the same thing, but we're gonna play a little bit more muted, like. So I'm just bringing my palm down and palm muting a little bit. Also, I'm adding more of just an 8th note, like ching, 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 kind of going in between like this. So that's fun, just grooving on that riff. From there, we go to the pre-chorus, and we're gonna go to some big open chords. Here's what it sounds like. We're back to that main riff. So here I'm keeping that 8th note feel going. I'm gonna start on a D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then I play that C to G like this. Then back to D. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first 4 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, then up to E. This is open 799, or just 799, just a power chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, then drop it down, D, A, like this. 2, 3, 4, then we go to G, and that kicks us back into the main riff for the chorus. So all together, the pre-chorus goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the coolest things about Angus Young is how he takes those standard open position chords and really makes them sound good for rock. So if you're interested in learning rock guitar, lots of Angus Young songs are going to help level up your skills in this area. So keep going, you got this, and to help you even more, be sure to pick up my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to play in any style, anywhere on the neck. And it sounds like a lot of information, but it's just a 1-page PDF. I was able to take all of that and just compress it down to 1 page, just for you. So grab your copy completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. Next, before you go, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your #1 struggle is with guitar right now. Just comment it down below so I can make some future videos here on the channel helping you out. As always, thanks for your support with the videos, and we'll see you in another one real soon. Hey friend, John McLennan here, and welcome back to the next episode of this AC/DC Back in Black series here on the channel. In this video, you're going to learn how to play Shoot to Thrill as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. And if this is the first video in this series you've seen, I'm breaking down how to play every single song from AC/DC's Back in Black album here on the channel. And today we're looking at the second track on the album, Shoot to Thrill. Now this song has some incredible rock guitar playing in it. We're going to kick this off with that opening bluesy figure, and from there we're going to dive into some classic Angus Young style chords. I'm going to break down a guitar part that goes through the entire thing, but before we jump in, if you're new here, I want to hook you up with a gift right away. I put together this awesome fretboard guide, and I want to give it to you completely for free. It's just a 1-page PDF, but it's going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to map out the entire fretboard. And this is the system that I use for basically organizing the chords and the scales together. And I want to give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. All right, well, with that said, let's dive into this song. Let's break down how to play Shoot to Thrill as recorded by AC/DC. Now we're going to use some awesome rock guitar techniques in this song. We're going to start off with this opening kind of bluesy figure for the intro. Here's what it sounds like. Then we're into that first rhythm figure there. So we start out on an A5 power chord, and this is just 2 strings, the open A string and then the 2nd fret on the 4th string. We're gonna play those together, then play the 3rd fret on the 5th string, then go up to 4 and add 2 here on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Play those 2 notes and then back to the A power chord. So that's the first little figure there you hear at the top. And then that's just ringing out. Then it goes again. Then as that's ringing out, there's another guitar that comes in that plays this rhythm figure. And what I do is I just go from this part into the next part. Now what I'm playing here is just switching between a G, a D, and an A. But this is like Angus Young style open chords here. And he has some great ways of playing open chords that sound awesome with distortion. When you take a typical sort of folk style chord and you add distortion to it, it doesn't sound as good. What you want to do is play it like this. And it's gonna sound more rock. So these are things I teach in my Essential Rock guitar system, but you'll see it in this song. So here I'm playing the 3rd fret of the low E. I'm muting the 5th string, then open, open 3. That's my G chord now. D is gonna be played, I'll include the 5th string in this song and play open, open, 2, 3. It's like a D5. And then A is gonna be just that A power chord with 1 finger. And you'll see, you know, there's lots of times in rock tunes where, you know, you play other notes while keeping that A chord down. And that's just a useful fingering, just the 1 finger. So we're gonna play G to D, G, D, and then we're gonna go this little lick here going to the A. So G, D, G, D, then A, like this. Now there's a lot going on here. What I'm doing is I'm hitting the chord and then I'm palm muting. I'm just like sort of pounding this A string. See that? In between the chords. So it's G, A. That's just the A string, the single string. G, A, D, A, G, A, D, A. And then here I hit the D chord, play the 4th fret of the 5th string. So I grab that note with my pinky. And then A, the A power chord. So. Now the trick is when you play the chords, you let them ring out, but when you play just the 8th note kind of pounding on that A string, it's palm muted. So it's... And then that rings out the last 2 beats. 3 and 4 and... So you're alternating between the chords kind of jumping out and then they're muted down, and all of that together sounds really cool like this. So that goes over and over for the intro, and then the verse as well. So, you know, the vocal comes in, and that continues until we get to the pre-chorus. And that's where the lyrics sing, I'm gonna take you down. Here we're gonna play this. Then we're into the chorus there, shoot to thrill. So we've got a couple new shapes here. We're gonna bring in a C chord. This is really like a C sus2. We're gonna play that chord on the downbeat by just bringing that ring finger down from our G chord. We're gonna switch from C to G back to C. like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So some syncopation. This is on the downbeat, then the and of 2, then beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Let it ring. Then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's with the words, I'm gonna take it down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we do the same thing, but we go D to A like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we hit this big rockin' lick on an E7 sharp 9. And this is the Jimi Hendrix chord. For those of you that are familiar with that shape, you know, like from Purple Haze, we're gonna play open E, then 7, 6, 7, 8. And what Angus does is he plays the bass note and then the rest of the chord and sort of breaks it up. Bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, chord. Then he ends with just bass, and then we go into the chorus. So it starts on the and of 4, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So there I'm just splitting up the strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, next we're into the chorus, and this is where the lyrics sing, shoot to thrill. We've got a 4-bar progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we're just going between an A to a G to a D, but all 5 chords or power chords in that sort of rock style. So I'm playing open 2, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. First chord A is on the beat, but then G and D are played on the and of 4 like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let it ring. All 1, 2, repeat that. A, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go back. Everything repeats again. We hit the rhythm figure. For verse 2, we do the pre-chorus 2. Then we go all the way through to the chorus out of this. Chorus 2. Now chorus 2 is twice as long. So it's chorus 1. So that just means we're repeating this A, G to D. Now out of chorus 2, we go back actually to that E7 sharp 9 riff. And that's gonna go like this. We're gonna play it for 8 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we go. We do this cool riff going into the guitar solo. And this is, again, no new chords, but a little riff in here. We're gonna go G to D to G, D. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then we go. Do this little lick. That's a double stop here, 7 and 7 on the 3rd and 2nd strings. Then to 5 and 5, very common rock riffs here, and then 7 on the 4th string, open A. 3 and 4 and so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Out of that, we go to the pre-chorus. And we play everything over, we go to the chorus. Now at the end of the tune, there's this final section where we're basically just playing the chorus, chord progression, A, G to D, but Angus goes to this cool sound where he sounds to me like he's using just fingers. So what you can do is you can hide your pick And then what I do is I just put it between my fingers like this. And then you have your fingers free to play finger style. And what it sounds like for the end is just this vamp. So it's the chorus progression. I'm going A, G to D, but I'm playing high triads here. Playing what looks like a D chord, but all the way up at the 9th fret. And then I'm including the A bass note in there. I'm just clawing all those strings. Then I go to a G with a D in the bass. Here I've got open D, and then 12, 12, 10 on the top 3 strings. And then we finish with D, open, 11, 10, 10. And that's 2 bars on that last chord. So A, G, D. I'm using all 8th notes with the picking hand. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Take your time with this tune. There are a lot of techniques coming together in this song, from the palm muting to the power chords to the different rhythms. So just be sure and rewind the video and go over any parts that are unclear. And to help you even more, make sure to pick up my fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to basically map out the entire fretboard. And this is going to connect things like your pentatonics and your major scales and the chords that they're related to, and show you how to lay it out on the fretboard. So grab your copy completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboardguide or use the first link down below. Next, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment and let me know what's your #1 struggle with guitar right now. Just comment it down below. Also, feel free to leave any song requests down there as well. As always, thanks for your support with the videos, and we'll see you in another one real soon. Hey friend, John McClennan here, and welcome back to the next episode of the AC/DC Back in Black series. If this is the first video you've seen in this series, I'm posting a brand new song lesson for every single song on the AC/DC Back in Black album. This is the 3rd episode of this series, and in this video, you're gonna learn how to play What Do You Do for Money, Honey, as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now this song has some great rock guitar moves in it. I'm gonna break it all down for you step by step, so when you're done with this video, you'll have everything you need to go and play right along with the original recording. But before we dive in, if you're new here, I wanna hook you up with a gift right away. I put together this awesome fretboard guide that's gonna show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to map out the entire fretboard. And this is so important to know if you want to learn to play in a key, or you want to learn to solo, or just really expand your fretboard knowledge. So when you're learning songs, you can put it all together in a simple way. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboardguide to grab your copy completely for free, or use the first link down below as well. All right, well, with that said, let's get into it. Let's break down how to play What Do You Do for Money, Honey, as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. We're going to start off with the intro, and it's very similar to what we play in the chorus. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we've got some big power chords here opening this song up. We're going to start out on an E power chord, and this is played just on the low strings here, open 2-2. Just using my index finger there. Then we're going to go to a G chord, and I'm going to play this more of an AC/DC Angus Young style G chord. So instead of like this, what I'll do is I'll play the 3rd fret of the low E, and then often just mute the 5th string, then open, and 3 on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Now you could, if you want, also add the 3rd fret on the 1st string, like that, or you could just stop at the 2nd string. Those are usually my go-to AC/DC style G chords. So we're gonna go from E to G. Then we're gonna go D to A. And D is just from the 4th string down like this. Open, 2, 3, 2. And then A, we're gonna play just like the E5, but we're gonna bring it down 1 string. So it's gonna go E, G, D, A, like this. Now rhythmically I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's 1 strum on E, 1 strum on G, then 2 on D, and 2 on A. Two and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're gonna do that 3 times. Then after that, we're gonna go E to G and just hold the G like this. Then we go into this figure. We're into the verse there. So here we're using more power chords, but higher up the neck. I'm gonna play an E power chord down to a D power chord. And I'm playing just 2-note power chords here, the 7th fret of the 5th string and the 9th fret of the 4th string. Then I'm gonna drop that down 2 frets to D. Notice that I'm using my index and my pinky for these power chords. And the reason is because the next chord is an A over C sharp. And what I'm doing is playing that D5 power chord, but then I drop the index finger 1 fret down to the 4th fret. So I have 4 and 7. So, okay, rhythmically I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the E's on the downbeat, 1 and 2, and the D's on the and of 2, and then the A over C sharp is on the and of 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Then I'm gonna go G, D over F sharp down here. And these, the first time I play it here, are gonna be short. So what I'm doing is a G, just like we did earlier, and then to D. Now I'm taking that F sharp note and putting it in the bass with my thumb. So I'm playing the 2nd fret of the low E there. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Then we go D and slide back up to E. Do the same thing again. This time we're gonna let those chords ring out, the G and the D over F sharp. So all together it goes. Then the verse starts, same thing. Okay, now here we have a little variation. So on that 3rd time, we're gonna go E, D, A over C sharp, G, D over F sharp, then slide back up, D to E. Okay, then we got this little variation where we bring in the low E string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. And then you could just play an E power chord, or you could do this lick. kind of a little hammer-on into the power chord there. I'm playing 7 and 7 on the 4th and 3rd strings, and then hammering that to 9 and 9. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 just restart. Okay, then we get the pre-chorus. Now, we're gonna start with that same progression, but we're gonna let all the chords ring out. So instead of going like, we're gonna go. So just letting them ring. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we're into the chorus there. Honey, what do you do for money? So the pre-chorus is just a couple bars here. We're walking down E, D, A over C sharp, G to D, then walk back up. Now the second time, instead of going to A over C sharp, you jump down to this A chord here, just the open position A. You hit that chord, and then you just build eighth notes for and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is going into the chorus. So for the chorus, remember I said at the intro that the intro is basically the chorus. And so what we're gonna do is just play that figure, the E to G, D to A, 4 times. So it's gonna go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have a little instrumental interlude. It's like a re-intro. We're gonna play that same progression that we used in the pre-chorus. Then we're back to the verse. So that's E down to D, A over C sharp, G, D over F sharp, then D, E, slide back up, and you're back to the verse. So here's the verse, and I'll play it for the second time, move it into the pre-chorus, and then I'll go to the chorus as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the variation. Repeat. Pre-chorus. Go into the chorus. Four times. From there, we have these hits before we go into the guitar solo for the bridge. We're gonna do 4 hits on an E. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. On the third one, we're gonna let it ring out. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 4, 2, 3, 4. So that's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Then we go into the guitar solo, and there's this really cool bluesy rhythm figure that goes between an A and a D power chord. Sounds like this. So I'm playing just the A power chord here, 2 strings, open in the 2nd fret. Then I'm pulling that 3rd fret of the 5th string. Just a slight kind of bluesy bend. Then go to a D power chord. Then reverse it back to the bend and then the A. So 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and bum, 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 bum. It goes 8 times. Then we come out of this, we go to an E power chord. Then we go back to the interlude figure. So what I played coming out of the bluesy part was just E, 2, 3, 4, E, G, D, and then I play open strings and go back to the E. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then we jump up here. It's like the re-intro. Then we go to the pre-chorus. To the A. Then it's chorus all the way out. There are a lot of great rock guitar tricks to learn from this song, whether it's playing open chords with distortion, you know, the way that Angus Young sort of edits. He doesn't play like those folk style chords. He plays more power chord shapes, and those sound great with distortion. So take your time with this song and just go over any parts that are unclear, and when you're ready, go and play it along with the recording. And to help you even more, be sure to pick up my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to map out the entire fretboard. And this works for any style of music, and I want to give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below as my gift to you. So hope you enjoy that. Also, before you go, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment down below and let me know your #1 AC/DC song. Which one is your favorite? Comment it down below. As always, thanks for your support with the videos, and we'll see you in another one real soon. Hey friend, John McClennan here, and welcome back to the next episode of the AC/DC Back in Black series here on YouTube. If this is the first video in this series you've seen, I'm posting a brand new song lesson for every single song on this classic album. And in today's video, you're gonna learn how to play Givin' the Dog a Bone as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now this song kicks off with this really cool bluesy riff all based off of an A power chord. I'm gonna take you through the whole song top to bottom, so when you're done with this video, you'll have everything you need to play a main guitar part through the entire thing. But real quick, if you're new here and you have not downloaded my ultimate fretboard guide yet, you're going to want to grab this at the first link down below. And this is an awesome PDF guide that's going to show you the 5 chords and scale patterns that I use to map out the entire fretboard. And this works for any style of music, and you can grab your copy completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. All right, well, with that said, let's dive into this song. Let's break down the guitar parts to Givin' the Dog a Bone as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now, the first figure you want to learn is this cool bluesy riff that comes off of an A5 power chord here. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm playing an A shape here with my index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then I'm playing the open A string with that. Now that's the shape that we're sort of playing around, but we're gonna start with that index there, and we'll also add our middle finger to the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So we've got 3rd fret and then 2nd fret. We're gonna give a little bend and a pull off. That's how it starts. It's very bluesy, right? Then we're gonna reach up to the 5th fret, all while keeping that index there. So, okay, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we go back to the 3rd fret there on beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So in the 2nd bar, we'll play 0 and 2, then we'll play 5 and 2, then back to 0 and 2, then 3 and 2. So then we'll play 2 strums here, then grab the 3rd fret of the low E. That's the note G there. We'll give that little pull and then restart the riff. So. Restart. Now my Strumman is just playing all downs, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the first figure, and that goes for about 45 seconds till we hit the pre-chorus where we have a little variation. And that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm playing here is just a little walk down. We're gonna play the 5th string, 3, 2, 0. Then a D chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then we can play open strings and then go to that A shape again. We're gonna have a little variation this time though. This is a slight variation. We're gonna start the same way though. 3 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and that's our variation. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dun 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 dun. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's our 2-bar pre-chorus. Both those bars put together sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that's going to be repeated 3 times. Now on the last time, we're going to transition to an E shape and go. That goes into the chorus, Given the Dog a Bone, and we're going to play this riff that sort of doubles the vocal melody. That's the Given the Dog a Bone. We're going to play it with some power chords in between like this. So essentially what I'm doing is playing the 3rd fret of the low E, then going to an E5 power chord, which is just like the A, just up 1 string. Then shift to the A here, down, so shifting that E down 1 string, then finish with 3, 0. Now every time I play that 3 on the low E, I'm giving it a little pull. It's that element of the blues that's a part of the rock sound, you know? It's really just a blues riff, but with tons more distortion and a different feel. But the idea is that you're just copying that melody. Giving the dog a bone. Now we do this 8 times. So that was 4 times there. It would be twice that length. Then from there, we go back to the top. We go back to figure 1. Then everything goes again. We play a second pre-chorus, we play a second chorus. Now out of the second chorus, we go to a guitar solo that actually takes this riff but plays it over what we call the 4 chord, which is another bluesy element here. So many blueses start on the 1 and then they move to the 4. Now, how you do that is instead of playing this, you're gonna go. So that's the same riff, but now based off the A shape. So I just shift down 1 string, 3rd fret of the 5th string, A, D, then do a little pull 3-0. After that, you go back to E. Then we get out of it like this. We just alternate between a G and an A chord. We go G, A, G, A, G, A. And we just hit one big A. A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then we're back to figure 1. Now at the very end, we do a final chorus. Now the final chorus has a variation here. We're doing the same lick. You know, giving the dog a bone. We play it on E, but then we go to like what we were doing during the guitar solo. We shift to the 4 chord again. This time though, the vocal melody keeps singing, giving the dog a bone. Now out of that, we just go back and forth from a C to a D, and we do the final ending like this. There's like a big kind of, you know, rock ending there. So what happens is you go C to D, C, D, C, D. Then we do a big slowdown, a big retard. C, D, C, D, C. Then G, D, and you know, they're playing all these riffs. And then you hit the A chord. So take your time with those guitar parts, starting out on that A sort of bluesy part, and then how it just develops throughout the tune. We go to the chorus where we're doubling that melody, and then it goes up a 4th for the guitar solo, and that also comes back in the ending with that double chorus. So there's a lot in there, and just rewind the video, go over any parts that are unclear. And to help you put this together even more, be sure to pick up my Ultimate Fretboard Guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to map out the entire fretboard. And I think about these patterns and shapes when I'm playing anything on guitar. It works for any style, and it's really going to help you just fill in your fretboard knowledge. So grab your copy completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboardguide or use the first link down below. Next, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment down below and let me know your #1 AC/DC song off of this album. Just comment it down below. As always, thanks for your support here on the channel, and we'll catch you in another video real soon. Hey friend, John McLennan here, and welcome back to the next episode of the AC/DC Back in Black series. In this lesson, you're gonna learn how to play Let Me Put My Love Into You as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. And if this is the first lesson in this series you've seen, I'm posting a brand new song lesson for every single song on this album. And we're actually right at the halfway point. This is track number 5. There are 10 tracks on this album, and all of them are chock full of amazing rock guitar parts to learn. In this one, we're gonna break down Let Me Put My Love Into You, and we're gonna learn techniques like hybrid picking, using power chords, and even playing cool bluesy runs in between the chords. I'm gonna break it all down for you step by step. But real quick, if you're new here, I've got a gift for you. I put together this awesome fretboard guide that's gonna show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to play in any style, anywhere on the neck. And I want to give it to you completely for free. This is basically the system that I use for mapping out the fretboard. And I think about this whether I'm playing lead or rhythm guitar. It's just a way that I visualize the neck. And you can grab your copy completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide. All right, well, hope you enjoy that as my gift to you. And with that said, let's break down this song. Let's break down how to play Let Me Put My Love Into You as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now we're gonna start off with this first figure, and this kicks off the tune. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3. There. Now what it sounds like, keep in mind there's definitely some layered guitar parts, and there's a part down low that comes in like this. And then there's a part up top as well. So I'm doing both of them here, and I think this would be a main guitar part that you can play, but it does require hybrid picking. So that means that I've got my pick here on the 5th string, and I'm playing the 7th fret there with my index finger. And then I'm using my middle finger of my finger picking hand to pinch the 2nd string there on the 8th fret. So I've got this shape. Then I drop it down to 5 and 7, and then back up to 7 and 8 like this. Now you could like stash your pick in between your fingers and just do that as well, and just use your fingers and just maybe thumb and index or thumb and middle. Or you could keep your pick right there and play it hybrid picking. So rhythmically it comes in on the and of 3. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and we do that 3 times, and then we drop down. That's 5 and 7 there. Then I go down to an A power chord. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and let it ring. 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then it repeats. So that's our intro, and then the drums come in, and we have this slightly different figure. What we do is we add a low E into that figure. So it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm starting that same way. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then on beat 2, I just hit that low E string. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. Then repeat. And 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and then here we go. That's low E, then 5 and 7, low E, then A chord. So figure 2 altogether sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's the intro. Now, once the vocals come in, we actually split up the verse. We play figure 1. We do that 2 times without the low E. Then we do figure 2, and we do that 2 times with the low E. So this is the verse. I'll play it for you so you can hear what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3. Kind of shaking the chords a little bit when I'm sitting on them. Repeat. Next part, bring in the low E's. One more time. All right, now the last time we go like this. This goes into the pre-chorus. We've got this really cool little bluesy line. What we do is we come out of this on the A chord. We hit that A chord and we go. Okay, that's just a little bluesy run. Open 3rd string, 2 slide to 4. Then grab the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Then 4, 0 on the 3rd string. Then go to an E chord and play. Just a palm muted, like, chunking rhythm down here. 1 and 2 and 3. Then you go to A the second time. Then alternate. E. Then the last time you go. And that's with the words, your turn tonight. Okay, so that's just an A. Then I'm playing that 3rd fret of the low E. Then back to the A. So the whole pre-chorus goes. Coming out of the verse. All right, from there we move on to the chorus, and that's where they're singing, "Let me put my love into you." We're gonna play this. We go back to that first kind of intro figure. So what I played for the chorus was just 3 chords. A D power chord, an A power chord, and an E power chord. Rhythmically, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So D is on the beat, A is on the beat, E is pushed on the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're gonna do that 4 times. Now the last time we don't push the chords, we just go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. Now you can, in between, of course, add more 8th notes, like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and just to keep it like more rockin'. The basic idea is just this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then you go. And you go back to figure 2 for a reintro. So figure 2 means it's this, but we have that low E in there. From there, we play verse 2. Now verse 2 is half the length, so keep that in mind. We just keep this going with the low E, so we just play that figure, and then we go, we do the pre-chorus, we do chorus 2. Now out of chorus 2, so everything's the same, we build on this E chord, and we go to a guitar solo, and the guitar solo is actually over the pre-chorus changes we're gonna play. We're just gonna play E to A, just 2 times, then we do that. And I'm accenting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 do that 4 times. After that, we stay on this A, 1 extra bar, and then we're back to the chorus. Let me put my love into you. So try it out, let me know how it goes. Make sure to just take it step by step, go section by section, and then when you're ready, put it all together and try playing along with the recording. And to help you even more, be sure to pick up my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And when we were playing the pre-chorus of this song, we had a little part where we were playing like an E power chord and then doing a bluesy run, and that run comes out of basically the blues scale or the pentatonic scale, which you're going to find on my fretboard guide, and it's going to bring even just more clarity to being able to put together the chords and the scales. So grab your copy completely for free. All you got to do is go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. Thanks so much for your support here on the channel. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope you have an amazing time practicing this song, and we'll see you in another video real soon. Hey friend, John McClennan here, and welcome back to the next episode of the AC/DC Back in Black series here on the channel. If this is the first video in this series you've seen, you're in luck. I'm posting a brand new song lesson for every single song on this classic AC/DC record, Back in Black. And in today's video, we're at song number 6, and you're gonna learn how to play Back in Black by AC/DC. Now this song is chock full of some awesome rock guitar parts. We're gonna use power chords and bits of the pentatonic scale to get an amazing rock guitar sound. I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. But real quick, if you're new here, I've got a gift for you. I put together this awesome fretboard guide that's gonna show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to play in any style, anywhere on the neck. And this is going to tie right in with today's lesson, especially when we dive into the parts of this song that use bits of the pentatonic or blues scale. And I'm going to show you how that works on this page. All you got to do is go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below and you can download your copy completely for free. So hope you enjoy that as my gift to you. And with that said, let's dive into this song. Let's break down how to play Back in Black as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now for this song, I've essentially broken it down into just 4 riffs that you need to know. Now we're gonna start off with this classic riff that's the most famous part when people think of Back in Black. It sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're using just 3 chords here, an E power chord, a D power chord, and an A power chord. Now the first one we're going to hit just 1 time and then rest. Then we're going to play 3 times on the other 2 power chords like this. That's just down, up, down, and then down, up, down, with those rests in between. So putting it together, from there we're going to play this classic descending sort of pentatonic blues riff here. Now if you know your pentatonic scale, key of E, that's definitely going to help you out here. We're going to start on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. We're going to play 3, 0, then go to the 2nd string, 3, 0. Then on the 3rd string, we're going to play 2, 0, but with that 2, we're going to bend it up and bring it down like this. We end with that open G string. So now when I do that bend, because we're close to the nut of the guitar here, it's tough to bend down there, so I don't want to just use one finger. I'll put some other fingers behind it, and those other fingers help push the string up to get the bend. Now sometimes I will do a pull-off like that. It goes by so quick it's tough to tell. You could pick it all if you want, or you could do a pull-off. Either way is cool. So if I put that together with the 3 chords E, D, and A, you get this. Now the second time, instead of going, we go. This is a climb up here. We're going to play the 2nd fret of the 5th string, then go to 4 on the low E, and then we keep coming back to this 2nd fret, but we're going to bring that 4 up chromatically, which means every fret we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. And when I get to that 7, I fall off and I come back down to the E chord. So it alternates. The first time it goes, and then the second time it goes. Now I want to talk about some picking real quick. When I play the descending riff here, I'm actually using alternate picking. So I'm going up, down, up, down, up, down. Or if you do the pull-off, you just wouldn't pluck that last note. So it starts on an up, down, because it actually comes in rhythmically. You could count it 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 3. Ba, 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 ba. It comes in on the E of 3. It's just a quick little rhythm there. Then the second time, those I'm just hitting as all downs. It just sounds more confident that way for rock. Then you just loop that around. That's the whole intro and verse. Now out of this we go into the second riff, which goes 3, 4. Back to riff 1. So this is all just a series of power chords here. I'm going to go A, E, B for the first part. Then I take that index finger off for a B5 over A, and then I put it back on. So, and it goes again. Then from there we go. Some people play G, D. I just play the top 4 strings and play a D sus4 to a D. So that's just your typical D, but you add the pinky and then it comes off. Then you play A. Then you grab the 3rd fret of the low E, then back to A. Then it repeats. So the first 4 bars of riff 2 go. Then you go back and repeat the first part again. Then we finish, this is over the words back in black, yes I'm back in black. You just play a G chord to a D chord. And you do a slide. So that's just a typical Angus Young G chord here, and that's going to be played like a G, but I won't use the index finger there, so I'll mute that string. Just go with the words back in black, then D, yes I'm back in black. Then you go back to riff 1. Now after you play that, everything goes again, you do riff 1, you do riff 2. Then you get riff 3, and this happens during the guitar solo. You get basically a variation kind of on our first riff. It's going to go like this. 3, 4. And this happens during the guitar solo, as I mentioned. We start off the same way. E, D, 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 A, A, A. But then we're going to have these groups of 3 on the low E chord. We're going to go. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We do the little rest in between. And I'm using a little bit of palm mute there, so. And again. Then we go E, A, like this. Then all of that repeats. From there, we have the final riff, and that goes like this. We take this riff through almost blues changes here. We do the 1 and the 4 chord. We're going to start out, now this is probably the hardest riff in here, so take your time with this one. But here we're going to play the low E, then slide from 5 down to 4 on the 5th string. Then do a pull-off to 2. So it's a slide to a pull-off. Then we do this climb up. Okay, it's similar to what we played earlier. Here we're going to play 4 to 3. And I'm just alternating the 5th string to the 6th string. So 4, 3, then 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7. So. Slowly. Then we apply that over the 4 chords, so everything just drops down 1 string. Back to E. And we come out of this back to riff 2. So take your time with this one. These guitar parts, they're super famous and a lot of people play them, but they are actually really pretty difficult to play, especially with how great Angus plays them, and you know, he's jumping around stage and just playing these riffs and figures like it's no big deal. So take your time with it and know that over time, the more you practice, the better it's gonna get. And to help you even more, be sure to grab my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is gonna help you unlock your guitar neck, and it's gonna show you what I think is the simplest system for mapping out the fretboard. And this is what I use in my own playing every day, and I want to give this to you completely for free. all you got to do is go to johnmclennan.com/fretboardguide or use the first link down below as my gift to you. Again, this is such a valuable resource. Just download it, print it out, and keep it, and it's really going to help you out. Next, before you go, I want to hear from you. Comment down below and let me know your favorite song from this album. Just comment it down below. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you in another video real soon. Hey friend, John McClennan here, and welcome back to the AC/DC Back in Black series here on YouTube. Now, if this is the first video in this series you've seen, I'm posting a brand new song lesson for every single song on this classic album, Back in Black. We're diving into these amazing rock guitar parts, and in today's video, we're gonna take apart You Shook Me All Night Long. We're gonna start with that intro, then we're gonna move into that main rhythm figure for the verse and the chorus. You're gonna learn a main rhythm guitar part for the whole thing. But real quick, before we dive in, if you haven't downloaded my fretboard guide yet, you're gonna wanna grab this at the first link down below. And this is gonna show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to map out the whole guitar neck. And this is so useful to understand. I was able to compress this down to just 1 page that you can download, print out, keep on your music stand or on your desktop as you're putting this stuff together. So go to johnmclennan.com/fretboardguide. You can download it right there or click the first link down below. So grab the guide, and with that said, let's break this song down. Let's break down how to play You Shook Me All Night Long as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now the song kicks off with this intro that is played just sort of freely before we go into the main groove and the first rhythm figure. Here's what the intro sounds like. So this is all based primarily out of a G shape here, but we're gonna play that G with just our index finger grabbing the 3rd fret on the 2nd string and also on the 1st string. Then we're gonna strum from 4 down. So we've got open, open, 3, 3. So we're gonna strum that, then we're gonna sort of pedal that 4th string. Then after that, we're gonna reach up. We're gonna play this little melody off of the G chord, so that 3 goes up to 5 on the 1st string. So then it comes off for 2 more strums there, back with just the index finger. So and play the 4th string, let that ring. Then we're gonna move to a D shape like this, but we're gonna start with our pinky on. It's gonna be a D sus, then it's gonna come off like this. So we're getting this little melody. So I'm trying to bring out that melody as I go through the chords, so. Then we do a little bluesy pull on that 3rd fret. And you can either go back to like a D shape like this, or sometimes I'll just play the open string, but the emphasis there is that D, the blues bend. Then we have this little lick, 3 hammering to 4 on the 4th string. Then grab the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, then back down to 3, and then open. Then we'll go back to that very first chord. So let me play what we have so far. Then it starts again. Now the second time, we just hold that D. So we come off the D sus, da, da, to D natural, then strum, and strum. And really, I'm trying to stop my strum on the 2nd string. So, because I'm trying to bring out this melody. Hear how you can strum with the melody, and you can pull that out of the chords. So all together. Then the drummer hits that snare on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're into this rhythm figure here. Now this is a 2-bar figure that just goes between, we're using the chords G, C, and D. And this is an awesome riff. Let me show you the chords first. We're gonna play G like this. So this is like a typical G you would play with 4 fingers, but we're gonna remove that index finger and just mute the 5th string. Then the C is gonna go like this. So just bring that index, or that middle finger rather, down 1 string, leaving the index off. And then the D is gonna just look like typical D here, from the 4th string down. So we're gonna go G, C, C, G, C, G, D, like this. Now the trick is getting the rhythms with it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm doing some strum hand muting here in between. Also my fretting hand just sort of releases and mutes as well, like. Then for the second part, we'll go. And that's just going back and forth between 2 G's here, then D, G, D. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then start again at the top. So all together, rhythm figure 1 sounds like this. 3 and 4 and. Then it loops again, then it starts over. So we play that over and over for part of the intro and the verse, and then what we do is we play this the last time. And this leads us into the chorus. What we're gonna do is play just the first half of the figure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then when we hit that D, we're gonna stay on D and build. Then we're gonna add our pinky down for that D sus. So we have 2 extra bars here just building on D to D sus. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 sus. Then here we go into the chorus, and that sounds like this. You shook me all night long. All right, so we've got another figure here. This is awesome, using some walk-ups and some arpeggio picking. We're gonna start on the G chord, but I'm just gonna hit the bass note. Then I'll strum the chord. And that's with the words, you shook me on. So that walks up there on the 5th string, open, 2, 3. I'm playing just based out of this G and C shape to start. Then we pluck the 3rd string, 2nd string. So. Then we walk this note down from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret. And pluck again, 3rd string, 2nd string. So. Then we play the open 4th string and go to a D chord. So. Then we walk back up to the C, and then this is really called a G over B, that chord there. So it walks up, open, 2, 3, then 3rd string, 2nd string, drop the bass, G over B, 3rd string, 2nd string. So don't worry too much if you can't get it exact with the picking, but try and get as close as you can and know that it takes time to develop the control to be able to hit those exact strings that you want. So altogether it sounds like this. Then it restarts. Then from there, we go back to the verse, which is rhythm figure 1. So take your time with those guitar parts and rewind the video and go over any sections that are unclear. And then when you're ready, you want to put it all together and see if you can play the whole song. And you can do that along with the recording or just play it on your own. And to help you even more, be sure to pick up my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to basically map out a framework for the entire neck. And this is so useful. It's one of the most useful things I've ever created. I want to give it to you completely for free. To grab your copy, just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide, or you can click the first link down below. So grab the guide. Also, leave a comment and let me know your #1 song from this album. Which one is your favorite? As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you in another video real soon. Hey friend, John McLennan here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to play Have a Drink on Me as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now this is an awesome guitar part, of course played by one of the greatest rock guitar players of all time, and it's this beautiful combination of rock and blues together. We're going to start off with this bluesy lick, and then we're going to go into some classic rock guitar moves here using power chords and palm muting and a number of essential rock guitar techniques. I'm going to break the whole song down for you top to bottom, but if you're new here, I want to give you a gift right away. I have this awesome fretboard guide that I put together that's going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to play in any style, anywhere on the neck. And this is a system that I use for basically mapping out all the notes, and I use it when I'm playing anything on guitar, whether I'm taking a solo or playing a rhythm part or combining all of those elements like what we're gonna do in this song. So I wanna give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. And one of the best things about this is it's just a one page. I put all of that information on one page that you can download, print out, and keep it on your music stand or on your desktop as a super handy resource. So just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. All right, well, with that said, let's break this song down. Let's break down how to play Have a Drink on Me as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now we're gonna start off with this bluesy riff that leads into later what's gonna be played for the chorus. Here's how it starts. So we start out with this bluesy riff that begins on the 3rd string. We're gonna slide from the 7th fret up to the 9th fret. Then when we get there, we're gonna grab the 8th fret on the 2nd string and let them both ring together like this. Now I'm using my ring finger to do the slide, and then I add in my middle finger on the 2nd string. Then when you get there, you can add a little vibrato, shake them a little bit. Then we do this. And this is a great bluesy riff here. We're gonna go back to 7 and slide into 9, then grab 8. Then we're gonna reverse that slide. So instead of sliding 7 to 9, now we're gonna slide 9 to 7. And we're gonna add in a pull-off. So this is a slide to a pull-off. We're gonna go frets 9, slide down to 7, then pull off 7 to 5, all with one pick. So, then we finish with a little pentatonic phrase here, 7th fret on the 4th string, then roll that finger over to grab the 7th fret on the 3rd string, then the 5th fret on the 3rd string, finish back on the 7th fret of the 4th string. Now you may have noticed when I play this 5, I give it a little blues bend, just for character. So we start off with just the first 2 notes, let them ring, then do the full riff. Then we do this. And this is an A7 chord to a D with an A in the bass. And what you may have noticed me doing is I start bringing in this 5th string. I'm playing it open, but I'm palm muting it a little bit. So my palm is laying back here where the string and the bridge come together. I'm getting that sound instead of open like that. So I play that low 5th string, and then I do a hammer. This is a very common blues figure. You grab the 5th fret here on strings 4, 3, and 2, but you hammer down that middle finger to the 6th fret on the 3rd string. You know, think about all the blues tunes that sound like. What you're doing is you're sort of dancing around a minor chord and a major chord. It's like, is it minor or is it major? The answer is yes, it's the blues. So here you go. Okay, so you do that hammer, and then you pedal on the palm muted 5th string. 1 and 2, and then on the and of 2, you go to just kind of mashing your 3rd finger down here, playing a bar. You're covering the 7th fret on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. Then you play the low A string again, and then repeat the riff. That's the main riff. Now, later we're gonna go when the band comes in, we're gonna add that in there. And that's just some power chords here. It's a C5 on the 3rd fret, 3 and 5 here. Then open A, then back to the C5, then do an A5 like this with just one finger. So. All right, so later when we learn the chorus, we're gonna combine all of that like this. So that's how you play the chorus basically, but it's all those same ingredients. Now when we go to the verse, we're gonna play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a little moving melody here on the 4th string. We're going to play 5, 4, 5. 5, 5, 4, 5, 7, da, da, da. Now in between and with it, I'm gonna be pedaling that palm muted A note. So it's gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da, 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 da. That's like the lick for the verse with the palm muted rhythm. Goes 4 times. Then we add in a little bit more rhythm, and there's some cool chords, like as one guitar is da 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 da. Da, 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 da. The bass is moving underneath, and you get this really cool part where you're blending sort of this one riff that keeps going through, but the chords change underneath. So you'll start to hear that now in this pre-chorus part that goes like this. 3, 4. Then we're into the chorus part. So what I played here was I kept that first melody going, 1 and 2 and 3, but on beat 4, I'm gonna play these chords. First I'm gonna play an A5, then a G5, and then a D5. And these are my standard go-to AC/DC rock style chord shapes, where I've made the open chords into power chords. So here I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and chord, that's the A chord, then I come back to the riff. Da 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 da, then start again. Da da da, this time G. Then to D, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you lead into the chorus with this. Right? One of the most classic rock chord progressions of all time. It's the climb up. You're trying to get to an A, and you go F to G, but in power chords. Then to the chorus part, which we learned earlier. Then we come out of this into the interlude, and we're gonna play this part, which we played from the verse. But this time we're just gonna go. And we're just gonna let it ring out. Then when we go back to the verse, we'll palm mute it again. Then Then we do the verse again, we do the pre-chorus again, then we do chorus 2. Now out of chorus 2, we go to the guitar solo. And that sounds like this. We go to these big A chords and we kind of go back to that riff. So for the guitar solo, I'm going E to A, E to A, 3 times. Then after the 3rd time, I'm gonna go G to D. So that goes E, A, E, A, G, D. Okay, then we do that again. This time we're gonna go. Okay, so there's a little lick the second time. You go to the 3rd fret of the low E and you play 3, 0, 3, 0. Then again. Then we finish with this, and this reminds me of the chord progression. If you know Back in Black, there's a part where they go, Back in Black, Back in Black. This is like the same thing, but it's stretched out. It's like... 2 bars each. Then you hit these big A chords. Okay, we go back to that famous riff. Now, there's some parts in here in this final part of the bridge where you double that riff. You go... And then the last chord progression goes A to D, G to D, like this. This is the ending progression. Congrats on making it through this classic AC/DC guitar lesson. There's so much in there, so be sure to rewind the video and go over any parts that are unclear. Work out each part and then slowly try and put it together. And make sure you're listening to the recording. We always want to be playing along with the recording and listening to it and studying it so we can see how you can go from like a lesson like this to being able to make the sounds that you hear on the recording. And to help you even more before you go, make sure to download my fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to play in any style, anywhere on the neck. And this is the system that I use for basically mapping out the fretboard. And I want to give it to you for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboardguide or use the first link down below. Before you go as well, make sure to leave a comment and let me know your #1 song that you would like to see me teach here next on the channel. Thanks for your support with the videos, and we'll see you in another one real soon. Hey friend, John McClennan here, and welcome back to the AC/DC Back in Black series. If this is the first video in this series you've seen, I'm posting a brand new song lesson for every single song on this classic AC/DC album. In today's video, you're gonna learn how to play Shake a Leg, track number 9. I can't believe we've gotten 9 songs into this album. There's one more. I'll be releasing it soon, but real quick, before we dive into this lesson, if you're new to the channel and haven't downloaded my fretboard guide yet, you're gonna wanna grab this at the first link down below. And this is gonna show you the 5 must-know chords and scales to play in any style, anywhere on the neck, and I want to give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or use the first link down below. Now in this song, we're going to be in the key of E. We're going to use some really awesome rock guitar moves. We'll be playing a lot of power chords, as we've seen throughout this album, and some great riffs as well. Let's break it down. Let's break down how to play Shake a Leg as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now we're going to kick off this tune going between an E power chord and an A power chord with some syncopated rhythms. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're moving between these 2 power chords here, an E5, which you can play with just one finger. Both these chords you can play with one finger. I've got the low E, the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then we're gonna shift down 1 string for the A chord, and then back up for the E chord. Now rhythmically, the tune actually comes in on the and of 4. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Then we hit that A on the and of 4 and then back to E on the and of 1 like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it repeats 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, then the verse comes in, the vocals come in, and we're going to play the same thing, but we're going to build on it a little bit. First, we'll play it one time through exactly as is. So 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so what we do now in the verse is we double up on that A to E. So we went before A, E, and then we just let it ring. Now we're gonna go A, E, A, E, E. Then we do that again. A, E, A, E, then E. Then we just hit one final E, and that's the don't kick, don't fight. It just sort of goes to vocals there. So here's the whole verse played as one piece. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, then we have this sort of free time. As I mentioned, the don't kick, don't fight just goes to vocals there. Then there's this little call and response between the vocal and the guitar. We're gonna play this riff 3 times. And this is part of the riff we're gonna go into right after this, but what it is just an E power chord, and then a little bend on the 3rd fret of the low E, then back to the E power chord. We're gonna do that 3 times. Then after that, the drums do this fill, and we're into this awesome riff, which is just more of a fuller version of what we were just playing. It goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right, so it starts the same way, E, then that 3rd fret with a little pull, then back to the E power chord. It's coming in on the and of 4, so there's lots of syncopation throughout this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. then 3 and 4. So that's sliding into the 4th fret of the low E, then the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Then we keep climbing up. So that's sliding into 5 on the low E, then 4, 4 on the 5th string, then slide into the 7th fret of the low E, then 5, 5 on the 5th string. So it's climbing up. Then you play the low E, and that gives you a chance to get back down to the E power chord. So it's, and all together. Now notice with the strum hand, I'm using all downs, and that just gets a really great rock feel. All right, from there, we go into just an E power chord for 2 bars. We're just gonna play 8th notes, kind of chunking away, and then we're gonna interject in that riff like this. All right, so what I played there was an E power chord. I just played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then on the and of 4 there, I go into the riff there. So that's gonna be repeated twice. It's 8 bars long. Here it is again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, the second time, remember how we were anticipating the chords a little bit. Instead of going back to the E, now we're gonna go to the A. Just 1 string down, we're gonna do the same riff, but shift it now to the A chord, like this. So that's gonna be your A power chord for 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're doing the climb up here, sliding into the 4th fret, then 2nd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. So then here I'll go back to the E to bring us back to the 1 chord. So all together on the A, it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, coming off of that final E, we go to the chorus, and this is where they're singing shake a leg, shake a leg. We come off of the riff like this. We're gonna do this really cool change from an E bar chord, but with a B in the bass, to a B bar chord. So the first chord is E with a B in the bass, so that's 7, 7, 9, 9, 9. I'm not playing the first string, but all the other strings I'm playing. Then you're gonna go to B, just a bar chord here, 7, 9, 9, 8, 7. I'm stopping there at the 2nd string. You could bar all the way if you want. I'm just keeping them consistent. Both these chords are 5 strings. So we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it's like shake a leg. So it goes with the lyrics there, but rhythmically we're starting on the and of 4, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so and of 4, then 2. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and the second part is and a 4 and then the and a 2. Then it restarts. That goes 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. All right, then we do more of a straighter rhythm. We're gonna come out of it like this. 1, 2, 3. So that goes like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's and a 4 and then beat 2, then beat 3, then 4 and. So you want to get used to being able to make this change here. It's very common in a lot of rock songs. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and then 4 and. Then you come out of this back to our riff. So take your time with those different sections and the chord anticipations, you know, those syncopated rhythms at the top. You want to make sure you're counting. That's why when I'm breaking it down, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you know, and I'm counting those rhythms out. So I'm basically creating like a grid in my mind, and I know where I'm playing on what beats I'm hitting chords. And that's going to help you just improve your rhythm and put this all together. And to put it together even more, be sure to pick up my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is one of the most useful PDFs I've ever put together. It's going to show you the only 5 chords and scales that you need to know to map out the entire fretboard. And I used to look down at the neck and be a lot more confused. Once I understood this, so much clicked. So go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide or just use the first link down below to grab your copy completely for free. If you're interested in more AC/DC lessons, be sure to check out the playlist. I'm putting together a playlist of all of these songs, so you can go back and review certain songs, or if you haven't learned a song and you want to go back and check out a specific one, I'll leave the playlist down below. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you in another video real soon. Hey friend, John McClennan here, and welcome back to the 10th episode of the AC/DC Back in Black series. In this video, you're going to learn how to play Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now, if this is the first video in this series you've seen, you're in luck, because I've posted a brand new song lesson for every single song on this album, and we've gone chronologically from the top to now the 10th track. This is song number 10, and in fact, I think it's one of the coolest songs on the entire album. I'm gonna break it down for you step by step, and I'm also gonna leave a link down below for a playlist where you can see all of these song lessons here on YouTube. Real quick, before we jump into the lesson though, if you're new to the channel and you haven't grabbed my fretboard guide, you're gonna wanna grab this first at the first link down below. And this is gonna show you the 5 chords and scales that I use to map out the entire fretboard. And I used to look down at the guitar neck and feel so much more confused until I understood what I put on just this 1-page PDF. And I want to give it to you completely for free. All you got to do is go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide, or I made it easy for you. Just click the first link down below. All right, well, with that said, let's get into the lesson. Let's break down how to play Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution as recorded by AC/DC on guitar. Now we're going to start off with this opening bluesy riff that uses some hybrid picking with the finger picking hand. Here's what it sounds like. This is an awesome riff that starts off on the 3rd and 2nd strings. We're gonna play the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then the 2nd string just open. And really it looks like part of an E chord here, but we're just gonna use one finger. Then I move that finger up and grab a double stop on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then also on the 2nd string. So now these notes here on the 3rd and 2nd strings, I'm playing with my middle and my ring finger of my finger picking hand. So just kind of clawing at those strings there. Then we're gonna go up to the 4th fret of the 3rd string and the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So that's our climb up there. And that's a million blues riffs right there, like. You hear that kind of stuff in the blues all the time. So we're just walking up. Then we go back to that 2nd fret. Now this kind of looks like an A chord here, right? Like if you had a just one finger rock chord, but we're just grabbing those 2 strings. Now when we come back here, we're gonna claw those 2 strings, but we're also gonna bring in the pick on the A string like this. So it's gonna go. Okay, and we're gonna do 2 of those there on that sort of A shape, so. Then we'll go back up to 4 and 3 there, and notice I'm using my ring finger and my middle finger. I wanna make sure you're copying the fingers that I'm doing here. Then from there, we're gonna have our index finger free, and we're gonna reach down and grab that 3rd fret of the low E and do a little bluesy pull there. Then we jump back to an E chord, like an E power chord, on the bass strings, open, 2, 2. And here I claw it, so I play my pick on the 6th string, my middle finger on the 5th string, and then my ring finger on the 4th string, like this. And just get them all to happen at the same time. So far it sounds like this. From there, we're gonna almost play the same thing again, but just have a little variation. We'll start off with the bluesy walk up. Then we'll go back to that A shape twice. Then instead of going back up here like we did the first time, we're gonna go to that 3rd fret, do a little pull there on the low E, and then we're gonna go up to an E bar chord shape. It's really an E power chord, but I grab almost like I'm doing a full E bar there, but I grab that chord and then slide off. Now again, I'm playing that chord the way that I played this E, so I'm just clawing the strings. So that's sort of the 2nd half of the phrase. So if I put them both together slowly, it sounds like this. All right, so that riff goes over and over until we get to the verse. And what we do is we come out of this riff like this. And we let that E chord ring, and then what we do is we come down to the low E power chord and start playing this bluesy figure for the verse. So this is a very common sort of rhythm and blues pattern here. We're going to be using some palm muting with the strum hand. We're going to play open low E and the 2nd fret of the A string and walk up So you've got 0 and 2 to 0 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and it's right on the beat. 1, 2, 3 that we're changing. 1, 2, 3. Now the strum hand can kind of keep eighth notes going just lightly underneath that palm muted. Now, we're gonna anticipate the next chord. We're gonna go. So what I did there was play the 3rd fret of the low E, give it a little bend, and then jump to the A power chord just 1 string down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4, and then repeat. And we just go back and forth there for the verse between E and A. All right, the last part we need to cover is the pre-chorus, and this is where the lyrics sing, talking about the future. Here's what we're gonna play there. 3, 4. Then we're back into that main riff. So here we let the chords ring out a little bit more. We're gonna start on the E power chord, then we're gonna move to a D, but we'll have the A in the bass, so it's like a D over A. That's just from the 5th string down, open, open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. From there, we're gonna move up to a B power chord, then back to an E. Now for the B power chord, I'm playing that like this, 2, 4, 4, starting on the A string there. Now these rhythms are syncopated, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. You can kind of anticipate that B by just hitting the bass note first. Then we play E to D5 over A again like this. Then we do this build on an A chord for basically 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and then we do the walk up into the main riff. So the pre-chorus all together sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're back into the riff. So as I mentioned, this is definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. From that opening bluesy riff to the power chords, it is so fun to play. I hope you had a great time watching this series with me. As always, thanks for following along, and this is just a great way to get a lot of insight into a particular style or a certain player. There's a lot of records over the years that I've done this on before I was doing lessons on YouTube, and every time I go through a whole album, by the time I get to like the 6th or 7th song, I'm seeing familiar patterns that I noticed in the first couple songs, and so you really start to just wrap your head around some of these players' sort of signature moves. And to help you put this together even more, be sure to grab my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to show you the 5 chords and scales to map out the entire fretboard. And a lot of the riffs on this album come out of the pentatonic, or what I call the rock scale, and you're going to see that on this fretboard guide. All you got to do to grab your copy completely for free is go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide, or I made it easy for you, just click that first link down below. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed this series. Leave a comment down below and let me know if I should continue the album series and what album I should do next. Thanks for watching, we'll see you soon.